Well, good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year to you. Welcome to the 109th Pennsylvania Farm Show. We are always honored to have you here and to host this state-sponsored show for Pennsylvania. Farm Show is an amazing event. I say it every year that it's probably the only place where we get a chance to use all five senses. We get a chance to touch, we hear, we got the sight, we get the taste, and we get the smells. I have a shirt, should have a shirt made sometime that says Farm Show, it lingers, right? But the point is you get a chance to use all of those senses, which is good. It's 24 acres of a classroom. It's an amazing place full of people, of things that shows the diversity of agriculture, our strength, and certainly a chance to see the people. This year's theme is Powering Pennsylvania. The theme is a testament to the power of agriculture in every region of Pennsylvania. It's the engine that powers our economy, builds our communities, and drives the quality of life in this state. It embodies the ingenuity, the collaborative spirit of Pennsylvania agriculture. This theme celebrates the food and the ag products that nourish us in our communities. It is most important to me to recognize the family and the people who make that possible. On our tour, we'll get a chance to see some of the amazing people. They are farmers and chefs. They are researchers and teachers. They're foresters. They're old. They're young. They're urban. They're rural. They are first generation and multi-generation. They're men and women. You'll get a chance to see that. But all of them share, regardless of who they are and where they come from, they share a common denominator. They are all part of Pennsylvania agriculture in helping to power this state. Among the many things that we will see, we will recognize the innovation. It is a central theme to Powering Pennsylvania. We'll see some of the highlights of innovation. We have very deep roots in innovation. You could argue that is why we were here, 109 years on. You'll see it in the legacy programs, and you'll also see it in some of our new innovation grant program as well. But speaking of people who make it all possible, this complex is full of amazing and talented people. There are folks who are volunteers and staff. And some would say we have a job description in this Commonwealth and in this complex called a magician. You'll see them in the magic that they work this week. But all of that is led by a very talented executive director of the Farm Show Complex, Sharon Myers. Sharon, please come forward and share what is new. And welcome, folks, for the 2025 Farm Show. Thank you.
Good morning. Like the Secretary said, welcome to the 109th Pennsylvania Farm Show. I'm Sharon Myers, the Executive Director, extremely honored and proud to be here. Proud of the team. Many of you are wondering why January 4th. I can assure you this is the earliest Farm Show ever is. It will drop a week next year, and you'll actually maybe get to spend a little time with your family. So we're really excited about that. The Farm Show team is nothing short of amazing, and I'm very, very proud to be here working with them. They worked New Year's Day, New Year's Eve to make this all happen. We have thousands of volunteers, hundreds of committee members, and with their cooperation and collaboration, that's how this is all possible. So just a real quick rundown on what's new this year. You will see a little bit later on our tour, we do have some mini cattle that are going to be here this year, so you can kiss a cow. It's been very popular, it will be very popular. We expect it to be much like the goat cuddling that we added a few years back. The mini cows are certainly going to be loved by all. They'll be located in the East Hall. We're also really happy to have a Women in Ag series this year. On Thursday, we'll be hosting Dr. Temple Grandin, very well-known professor, author. There's a great movie out about her, and we're really excited to have her start a new series for us of Women in Ag. We'll be extending that program beyond her lecture on Thursday morning to incorporate some other organizations as well. And then we'll expect more in 2026 on that series as well. Everyone's always excited about food. Some of you will get to taste that food a little bit later. As you're aware, we do have the mint milkshake this year, which was announced a couple weeks back. I can tell you firsthand, it's delicious and you'll love it. The honey ice cream is always a fan favorite of mine. They're great. We also have baby portobellos stuffed with cheddar and bacon. So if you're a mushroom fan, you'll definitely want to check those out. And then the potato growers have added the loaded French fries and loaded potato cakes this year. They added the loaded baked potatoes a number of years ago, so this year they're going to load up your French fries and your potato cakes as well. Also in the food court, we will have Brussels sprouts this year. One of my favorites. They're actually served with a nice feta cheese and some glaze. So a little bit of health and a little bit of deliciousness all in one. Check them out. Our junior committee is a committee that we added a number of years ago. It's just a fantastic group of young adults, late high school, college, and they really, you'll see them doing everything from running our stages this year. We tasked them to run the Lancaster Farming Stage in the Giant Expo Hall, as well as our new sponsor, PSECU, will be on the stage in Family Living this year. The junior committee has over 200 educational events loaded on those two stages, so be sure to come check them out. They've just done a phenomenal job. We have the usual over 275 commercial vendors, so come here. There's something for you to buy. The junior committee is actually going to have an apparel stand this year. You can get an official Farm Show t-shirt. 12,000 competitive events, over 4,000 animals. And backed by popular demand, again, we'll have the goat snuggling, the butterfly experience, fishing, rabbit petting zoo. The Culinary Connection is sure to not disappoint. You can get some tasty samples down there, as well as really learn about some of the really great PA preferred foods that we have here in Pennsylvania. Parking is the same, $15. Rodeo tickets are still available. The show runs Saturday, tomorrow. Well, tomorrow, I apologize. Tomorrow food court opens at noon, runs until 9 p.m. Saturday, the official show opens at 8 a.m., runs until 9 p.m. Sunday, 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. Monday through Friday is 8 until 9, and the last Saturday is 8 until 5. We will have the shuttles running from all of our parking lots again. Our neighbors like to offer parking as well. And for more details, farmshow.pa.gov. And any other questions, certainly reach out to our office. We are here long days to answer all questions. Send us emails. We are checking Facebook as well with our press team, and we just really are excited to host the 109th Pennsylvania Farm Show, where the Farm Show team will power the minds of Pennsylvania with all things agriculture. So thank you very much, and I'm now going to turn it over, the moment you've all been waiting for, Diana Dibble.
Thank you, Sharon. Good morning. I'm Diana Dibble, Vice President of Integrated Marketing Communications for American Dairy Association Northeast. On behalf of our organization, the Pennsylvania Dairy Promotion Program, the Department of Agriculture, and the Dairy Farm Families of Pennsylvania, welcome to the official unveiling of the 2025 Butter Sculpture. This is the 34th Butter Sculpture that will entertain the crowds here at the Pennsylvania Farm Show. In a moment, you'll hear from our special guest joining me here at the podium. Also in the crowd, I'd like to acknowledge John Chrisman, CEO of American Dairy Association Northeast. From the Land O'Lakes Carlisle plant, Amanda Reif, Justin Potts, Ann Walters-Cool, Carrie Spicer, Chad Fogelsanger, Lori Furman, Joe Parson, Dina Black, and Holly Walter. Thank you, Land O'Lakes, for your donation of butter. The Pennsylvania Dairy Princesses, State Princess Charlotte Wallace and alternates Sadie Inerst and Morgan Larson, representatives from 4-H State Council and Future Farmers of America state officers, and the Center for Dairy Excellence. I'd also like to thank our partners at the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture and the Farm Show team here on site for all of their support. It is now my pleasure to introduce Casey Hershey. Casey is a fourth-generation dairy farmer at Arjoy Farms in Cochranville, Pennsylvania. She and her family are caretakers of 800 dairy cows, 550 acres, and they also have a methane digester on the farm that Casey will share more about. They are excited to be opening an on-farm creamery, Our Joy Creamery, in early 2025. Casey?
Good morning, everyone. I want to quickly introduce my son Wyatt, who's very excited to be here today as well. The theme of this year's PA Farm Show is Powering Pennsylvania, and I couldn't be more excited to stand here today on behalf of the incredible dairy farmers who make this Commonwealth thrive. Dairy farming isn't just a job, it's a passion, a way of life, and a commitment to something bigger than ourselves. It's about nourishing families, driving innovation, and building a brighter, more sustainable future for our communities. Today, we're here to unveil something truly spectacular, an awe-inspiring butter sculpture crafted by the extraordinarily talented Jim Victor and Marie Pelton. Using locally made butter from dairy farmers just like us. This sculpture isn't just an art, it's a celebration of everything we stand for, and as a third-generation dairy farmer on our 800-cow farm in Chester County, it fills me with pride and joy to share this story with all of you. At Our Joy Farms, we pour our hearts into everything that we do. Our mission is to provide wholesome, nutritious food to our neighbors, but it doesn't just stop there. We're deeply committed to progress and sustainability, and we're always looking for ways to make a difference. One example, we've embraced cutting-edge technology like a methane digester to recycle manure and food waste. This incredible system generates clean electricity that powers our farm and even contributes to the local power grid, and I think that's just pretty cool. But what's even more remarkable is how much our cows give back. They aren't just producers of delicious, nutrient-rich milk. They're nature's superheroes. Every single day, our cows help upcycle food scraps, enrich the soil, reduce carbon footprints, and contribute to renewable energy. It's truly incredible to think about how much these animals help to power Pennsylvania. This year's butter sculpture brings that story to life in the most creative and beautiful way. And before we unveil it, I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude. To Jim Victor and Marie Pelton, your artistry and dedication are nothing short of extraordinary. Thank you for turning butter into a masterpiece that captures the spirit of dairy farming so perfectly. To Land O'Lakes, thank you for donating the 1,000 pounds of butter that made this sculpture possible. Your continued support means the world to us. And finally, to my fellow Pennsylvania dairy farmers, you are the heroes to this story. Your hard work, determination, and unwavering commitment to feeding our communities and protecting our planet inspire me every single day. Dairy farmers are proud to play a vital role in Pennsylvania's story, providing nourishment, driving innovation, and leading the way to sustainability. Thank you for giving me this honor of representing you here today. Thank you. Diana, back to you.
Thank you, Casey and Wyatt. More than 1,000 pounds of butter were used for this year's sculpture, and here to talk about their work, which included 14 days inside the butter booth, are the talented sculptors Jim Victor and Marie Pelton of Montgomery County.
Yeah, thank you, Diana. And also, I want to thank the people here at the farm show, security office, which was great, doing all kinds of things for us, and also Mac and JR. Their guys are great. They really did a lot for us. And I also want to thank Diana, of course, and the American Dairy Association Northeast, and Secretary Redding for their support in bringing this about. The butter sculpture always gets a lot of its attention for its entertainment value, but it also tells an important story about agriculture and pays tribute to the hardworking dairy farmers of Pennsylvania. This art that we have created shines an important spotlight on dairy farmers and the dairy products produced right here in the Commonwealth. This is very meaningful for us as we pride ourselves on bringing a theme to life in the form of a sculpture.
The sculpture was created from 1,000 pounds of butter donated by Land O'Lakes. Thanks to their generosity, we're able to create this beautiful centerpiece that will be viewed by thousands of farm show visitors. And after the farm show, the butter won't go to waste. It will be recycled into renewable energy on a dairy farm. It's an honor for us to be part of this tradition every year, and we couldn't do it without the support of the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture, the people right here in the Farm Show Complex, the American Dairy Association Northeast, and the Pennsylvania Dairy Promotion Program. So thank you very much, and we'll turn it back to Diana.
Thank you, Jim and Marie. Now, please welcome the 26th Secretary of Agriculture for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Russell Redding.
Hey, Dinah, thank you. And again, good morning and welcome to the 109th Pennsylvania Farm Show. I'm always sort of tempted to go off script, particularly after you hear Casey and Wyatt and you see them and you hear the words, and certainly to Marie and Jim, just the level of humility that's here and the passion that's here. So just let me say thank you to them for sure for what they do. Certainly to Marilyn and Dwayne Hershey, who are here as well. I can see you, and you can be proud of another generation and another generation being here. What a good feeling, right? We spend a lot of time in this business talking about the future, and to see them here and in this business that's important to the Commonwealth, powering us forward, is also very gratifying. So thank you for what you do. As I look around, certainly our friends from Land O'Lakes, thank you. It's always good to be with you, a critical part of Pennsylvania dairy and Pennsylvania agriculture is our friends at Land O'Lakes Cooperative, key partner. We have our American Dairy Association Northeast, who is here to help promote the products of Pennsylvania that we produce to the consuming public, and certainly to our dairy royalty. I want to say thank you for spending a year of your life promoting agriculture in the dairy industry of Pennsylvania. And we're fortunate in Pennsylvania to have a Deputy Secretary, Lisa Graybill, with us in the department as a dairy producer in Lancaster County who knows this business very well, keeps us sort of true to our dairy roots in the department. Lisa, thank you for what you do. And then final is to say thank you to the 5,000 dairy producers in Pennsylvania. At the end of the day, we can stand here and talk about butter, and we can talk about all the good things of Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania dairy, but ultimately that is about somebody in the business who wants to invest in the business and stay in the business and see a future in this business. Each of the 5,000 dairy producers are critical to the fabric of Pennsylvania and certainly to the economy of Pennsylvania as well. As I've noted, our theme is Powering Pennsylvania. We think dairy is undeniably part of that powering of Pennsylvania. It is part of our story, and you heard that from Casey and their farm at Arjoy Farms in Chester County. When we're done at the end of this farm show, we'll have this butter sculpture go off to be part of the Rhineford Farms in Juniata County, who have a digester as well, just to sort of make these connections that as we tell the story about Pennsylvania agriculture and what we're powering, it is powering our public, it is powering the state's economy, it's powering a really critical part of our daily existence through food. And we see that in the administration. We're proud of the work that's being done and really appreciate particularly the producers who take the risk, they have the science, they take the innovation, and they produce these amazing products. And we'll see and taste those certainly this week. But key to that is innovation. And in dairy, it's energy generation, as we've heard here from Casey. It's innovation in the workforce from 60,000 folks who are employed in the dairy business of Pennsylvania. We saw it a couple of weeks ago in the Zancroft farm, who are looking at innovation from an apprentice program to bring in a new generation. We see it in dairy products, innovation in animal health and animal care, critical to the success of Pennsylvania and Pennsylvania agriculture. We see it at the University of Pennsylvania and Penn State University looking at nutrition, both human nutrition and animal nutrition, health monitoring systems, genetics, and certainly innovation in farm productivity. We're proud of the work that we do. It is part of the story that we tell of the innovation that's been adopted. But this is a story that we could tell almost any year, because we're here to celebrate 109 years of progress of adoption of innovation. But we are really, really proud to have you here to be part of this. Innovation is happening across Pennsylvania, and we as a department and certainly as administration will do everything we can to power Pennsylvania and Pennsylvania agriculture. So thank you for being here. I'm honored to help raise the curtain on the 2025 Pennsylvania Farm Show butter sculpture. Diana, back to you.
Okay. I will hand, it's just
Okay.
about time. Jim and Marie and Casey and Wyatt, Carolyn, everybody up front.
Right here. This work?
I'll tell you when you're all,
We're gonna help push this button.
yeah, just want to,
Should be on
whenever
push
you're ready.
top button.
Top button up,
Let's do it.
okay?
Top button.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. That's okay.
This year's sculpture is From Moo to Marvel, Dairy Cows Power, Pennsylvania. Dairy cows step into the spotlight as nature's superheroes, producing wholesome milk while helping to power Pennsylvania communities with renewable energy. The sculpture features a life-size dairy cow alongside a methane digester, a powerful renewable energy system, set against a Pennsylvania farm backdrop with a vibrant cityscape also nestled in the distance. The sculpture reflects the theme of the 2025 PA Farm Show, Powering Pennsylvania, and celebrates the dairy industry's rich traditions and environmental innovations. Thank you for attending the unveiling of the 2025 Pennsylvania Farm Show butter sculpture.
Good, good.
Awesome.
Nice job on the cow. All right, thank you. Nice job.
Yeah. You can introduce yourself. Still haven't.
Say test 1, 2.
Test 1, 2.
Yep, you know it.
No, tell them you want to eat
Dave.
booze.
How cool.
Yeah, you're gonna talk. Yeah, we can talk about. We're gonna talk about the stage. We can talk about the stage and competitions, whatever you like.
Let's
You
do
have
it.
Some things you wanted to hit.
Well, I think so. Farm show simply wouldn't be complete without food, right? Both on the culinary stage, we'll see it in the food court, but we're really proud of the Culinary Connection, right? Make sure you get one of the recipe books that'll carry you through the year. But this is all about Pennsylvania Preferred. It is our brand, it's our signature. So as consumers, we want you to shop and look for that, the check mark and the keystone. That's important. We'll have somebody on the stage all the time, right? Talking about products. Take a look at these are all PA products, things that we're number 1 in and number 10 in, but all great stuff. Painterland Sisters Yogurt, just to sort of point out that part of the evolution of Pennsylvania Preferred is the organic brand. It's the first Pennsylvania company that's carrying the PA Preferred Organic label. That is important for Pennsylvania. I'll let the chef talk about it. Chef Kirk can talk you through what we're doing, what you're doing, more importantly, right?
Yeah,
Please.
sure. Just like Secretary said, we this stage will be full from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day of the farm show. The whole way through. There'll be chefs up here. There'll be maple producers. There'll be honey producers. Hopefully, we'll have the bee princess up here. All kinds of stuff. But they're going to be doing demos with Pennsylvania product, making recipes that you can find in this book every single day of the week. We have Jet Tila from the Food Network. He's one of the big stars we're going to have. We've got Jen Zavala from down in Philly. We've got a couple competitions, one of which is the Giant Chefs Battle with the chef from the Philadelphia Union versus the Devon Seafood Chef. It's going to be a big one. And every day the stage is supported by a different culinary school, volunteer students and their chef instructors. And they'll be in the back prepping all the food and then serving samples after the demo every single day. Every demo is about 30 to 45 minutes. And from literally everything from braised venison that we partnered with the Game Commission all the way to maple fudge. We'll be making maple fudge on the stage on Wednesday. So we hit all kinds of product today, just to kind of give you an idea. Candies, we're going to be making candies. We've got lots of Pennsylvania maple syrup and pickles. We've got the Penn State mustard, of course, and Painterland Sisters yogurt. So,
Oh, looks good. So we have in the PA Preferred program about 1,100 members. I mean, these are farmers and producers like the Painterland and Bell and Evans and others. This is what it's about. This is about this whole marketplace here at the farm show. This area has got a lot of great product. PA Preferred Culinary Stage. We have worked really hard over the years to bring in great talent that entertain, but also teach and show us how to use good PA products. So all good stuff, right? Any questions?
any questions? Anybody want to try anything? You're welcome to.
Yep.
Except for the wine. I'm not opening that, okay?
Even better. Come on in and try it.
Oh, yeah, please do. There's plates. If you'd like a plate. That's okay. If you'd like a plate or a fork, here you go. You're allowed to take get some pictures if you want to try some stuff. You're welcome to it. It's up to your mom, though, of course. There's bologna right there. Smoked Wellsville cheese. Caputo Brothers Creamery cheese right there. Camelot Valley. It's a really tiny little creamery with Chev. We've got some of that. Dried Lancaster County cantaloupe, believe it or not. That's dried cantaloupe. Yep.
I was wondering what it was.
Yeah. Dried cantaloupe from Lancaster
try
County.
that.
Dilly beans, classic Pennsylvania dilly beans. Pretzels are, of course, Snyder's. And then we've got a really small bakery's pretzels here, too. Off the top of the head, I can't remember. What else?
Yeah.
Of course, mushrooms. Tons of mushrooms from PA.
Good outcomes.
Previous full-time job combined with current full-time jobs. The last full-time job is a four-time job. I work at Penn State. They select Penn State to work in titles. morning of the game.
Listen.
Amy's the draft horse.
Got it. Excellent.
Yes.
Got it.
So,
Okay.
do you want to
Great.
just kick it off to her? And then she'll talk about her cows and their farm and the exhibit, and then we'll go back and forth. Okay.
Good, good. Well, as we promised, right? Not quite as miniature as what was on the podium this morning, but always cool to see what all is going on in Pennsylvania, the agritourism and the opportunities that we have to sort of educate, right? So we'll let Swartz Farm sort of talk about what they do. Alyssa's going to guide you through what it is, what are we looking at, right? And then what do you do in the farm?
Yeah, so my farm, we deal with agritourism. That's everything that we do at Swartz Farm. We do a petting zoo. We have cow cuddles and goat cuddles and bunny snuggles and all kinds of fun stuff at our farm. You can do a farm tour, or you can even come and walk Olaf and his friends. So they love grain. One of his favorite treats right now is grain. He's scratching his he's scratching his face on the feeder. They love to scratch and snuggle. But anyhow, he's so excited to be here. We're ready for people to come take pictures and snuggle with him. They'll be able to come up, take a little pet, give him a little snuggle. You can give him a kiss on the cheek if you want to. Hi, sweetie. So yeah, so much fun. We're gonna love being here. You're gonna get a cool picture for your memory for Farm Show.
So the Kiss a Cow is real?
Yes, this is new and exciting. At our farm, we do photography themed sessions, and it was just a marketing, like a little cute name, and then it really took off. So we started it last year as a for Valentine's Day. Then we did it for Easter shoots, and then we came here last year. We come every year to the farm show, of course, and we didn't see any mini Highlands. And so with everything that we do at our farm, we thought you guys need some mini Highlands in our lives.
Well, thanks for bringing them.
Yeah.
So tell us about the animal. What's how old?
Yeah, so he
breed?
is about 3 months old. He was born in October. He's a baby mini Highland calf. He will be a mid-size Highland as he gets older. So he's still on milk. He loves his milk every morning and every night. His name is Olaf, and he's super fluffy and snuggly.
Olaf. So what is in here then? What's going to be here?
We will have another cow here, so we'll be doing 2 stations. We have a whole lineup of cows. You can see all their pictures along the way and whatnot as well. Winnie, Mateo, Ali, Olaf, and Muchacha, another baby mini Highland. So we have 3 baby mini Highlands and 2 adults.
Now, folks will have to. There's a charge.
It's
do this,
$5
right?
a person. You can check in, get a ticket to come take a picture with them, and then all ages. So from children all the way up to adults.
Yeah. But the proceeds go to the Friends of the Farm Show Foundation, right? So when we talk about the foundation and folks who are really important to how this show happens and all of the activity you see, there's a lot of foundation support. One of these opportunities is going to be here through the Swartz Farm, and an opportunity for folks to sort of pay $5, hang out with the cow,
Yeah.
right? And then enjoy the rest of the show. Good. Questions?
ALYSSA?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Look forward to the week.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for being
Thank
here.
you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
I think
Yeah,
we're off to
thank
the
you.
Draft horse.
draft horse and the equine arena.
Hi, Rose. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
How you doing? All right?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Good.
You all ready for this amount of fun?
Every day.
Every day?
Yeah. Well, there's nothing that says power like a horse,
Good boy.
right?
Nothing at
It's
all.
amazing. Every time I see the horse, I think about our state flag, right? It's got 2 horses on it, draft horses, and it's such an important part of Pennsylvania, of course, and our history. It's also part of what folks love about the farm show. I'm sure Sharon would tell you the same thing, that you could fill this entire complex with horses. And people would come to appreciate them and be in awe as we are today. So let me have Amy sort of give you the history, a little bit of history about what we're looking at and
Sure.
the equine activities here at the
Do my
farm show,
best.
right?
Sure.
You got a long history with us as well.
We've been doing this, I'm actually still one of the newcomers. We've been doing this for about 20 years. We've got some folks here that have been doing this for generations, grandparents and that kind of stuff. You know, Roger and Linda down at the end and Wyatt Carbaugh, they've had grandparents here showing horses for back in the 1930s and 1940s. These are the draft horses. They were all initially bred for work horses, or the Percherons were bred to carry knights into battle in France. Almost all the draft horses got imported into the United States in the 1880s. Sort of had their heyday in the 1920s and 30s, and then really dropped off in the 50s and 60s when things got very mechanized and modernized. And they've really had a bit of a comeback here in the last 20 or 30 years with the hitch horses. What these guys do, they pull the wagons and the carts. They're very flashy, very up-headed. You see them pulling the Budweiser wagons. You'll see them pulling the Coors wagon. A lot of the people have them for exhibition hitches and sort of advertisement for their products. We're showing, we have 6 horses here this week. We'll be showing a 4-horse hitch is the biggest we do. We don't do a 6-horse hitch. My crew would fire me or fire themselves if I did that. Our horses range in age from, they all had a birthday yesterday, so they range in age from 4 to 15 here now. This is Rascal. He's one of our lead horses. He just turned 9, and we've had him since he's been a 2-year-old. He shows in all of our cart classes. Our youth riders and youth drivers use him. So we've got 8-year-olds showing him all the way up to our open adult classes. He's a Percheron gelding. He weighs about 1,900 pounds. He's 17.3 hands tall, and he's a really good boy. We really enjoy coming here to the farm show. It's a great time to show off what we do to the public, since a lot of people just don't see these horses up close. Sometimes driving past an Amish field, they'll see some out there and go, oh look, that's a neat horse, but they rarely get to see this type of horse up close, just because there's not as many events that show this kind of horse. We also show here at the Keystone International Show in October, which is another great show, but nobody comes to see that one, so people need to come see that one too. There's all 3 breeds actually all 4 of the mainstream breeds of draft horses here. There's the Belgians, the Clydesdales, the Shires, and the Percherons, and they'll all compete together all weekend long. There's 5 farms that stay here all week for public education and exhibition. We'll be doing things like the Celebrity Feed Scurry on Wednesday. We do a salute to veterans on Thursday afternoon, and we get a lot of the veterans that are in the facility to come take a wagon ride with us while we do a musical salute to them. We do barn talks and public exhibitions where we just go out in the ring with the horses. We take questions from the audience. We try and educate as much as we can on the type of horses, what we do with them, ask all the questions like, why are their toes square, and what do you use them for, and how fast can they go, and how long do they live, as well as the usual ones. What are their names? But we really enjoy it. As I said, we've been here for this will be, I think, my 21st farm show, and
It's good.
It's a great time.
Thank you, Amy. Questions for Amy about draft horses right here?
Yes, sir.
Why are their hooves so big?
Well, is he pretty big? He needs a big foot to stand on. If you were that big, your feet should be that big too, right? You guess? You'd think if you have like a light horse foot that's sort of small and round, for these guys, you'd be like walking on a stiletto heel, okay? He's almost 2,000 pounds. The bigger the surface area that you have, the more shock absorption you have, the easier it is on their joints and bones. So for these bigger horses, they just have a bigger foot. They have the square toe like we see here. That's a show shoe that we have on called a Scotch bottom. There's actually one on the table over there if anyone wants to go pick one up. But these guys naturally have very high knee action, and the square toe just lets them come off the ground just a smidgen faster or get a smidgen higher than what they would if it was a round toe. Sort of the same thing. It's like the difference between running in a sneaker and running in, a dress shoe.
That's the cool part of Farm Show. I learned something. Been here many years like you, Amy, but I just, every time I stand still and listen to one of our exhibitors, I mean, you learn a lot, right, about the breeds and the care and you know, the journey that whatever it is we're looking at, sort of has been on. So, Amy, thank you. Look forward to a great week.
Absolutely.
We appreciate Rascal. Right?
Absolutely,
Great.
absolutely.
Thank you.
You coming to drive with the Celebrity Story again this year?
I will be there with you.
Excellent.
All right?
Okay, very good.
Excellent. Good. Let's go to the Giant Expo Hall and we'll talk about conservation and New Holland machinery.
SNOVER.
Good to see you. How have you been? Good.
Morning.
Hey,
Morning.
How are you doing, Sean? Good to see you.
Sir?
Yeah.
Corey Forrester.
Good
Yes,
to
sir.
see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
You want to take it off, turn over to them, and then you can do cleanup?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's nothing more sort of iconic of farm show equipment, right? It's sort of what it's all about, and giving folks who come through this complex a chance to see the size, the scale, right? What each of these specialized pieces do. Folks see them in the fields, don't always understand sort of what does it do, right? And we're fortunate this year to have our friends from CNH here, New Holland as we would term them, but certainly Corey Forrester, CEO of Forrester Farm Equipment in Franklin County, Chambersburg. Been a great partner with us. You'll talk to, a chance to talk to Sean as well with CNH. But I'll turn it over to Corey and Sean to talk about this display exhibit, the ag equipment in Pennsylvania, and how important it is, but also maybe what some of these pieces do.
Sure,
Thank
absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks.
Corey Forrester, I'm the owner and CEO of Forrester Farm Equipment. We're a family business out of Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, Franklin County. We also have a store in Somerset, Pennsylvania. We have a store in Woodstock, Virginia. We're proud to be here at the Pennsylvania Farm Show and display our products. What we like to bring to the farm show is new products, innovative products, and we're a true blue New Holland dealer, so bringing innovative products is what New Holland does best. So some of the products we always bring the large chopper, which that's a fan favorite because everybody sees it and goes, wow, what is it? Okay, and then they want to know how much it is. So what is it? It's what makes the food for the cow. And how much is it? You know, a machine like that is anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million. So it's a very expensive piece of machinery. Down through our lineup, we have the Maserati Blue Tractor, which is a special Blue Power Special tractor. Here's our CE lineup of equipment. Some of the new products we have here is the new C330. We got TerraGlide on our skid loader, which is a suspension. And the highlight of the show is the methane tractor. This is the T6180 New Holland methane tractor, and I'm going to bring Sean in to give us the lowdown on the T6180. Thanks, Sean.
Cool. Morning, everybody. So one thing to try and help you understand a little bit from New Holland's perspective, we started our company in the mid-1990s as being the clean energy leader. So we were always looking at innovative ways to try and help the environment clean things up. One of the first things we did as a prototype was a hydrogen-powered tractor called NH2. You might have seen that on the internet a bit at the time in the early 2000s. We then transitioned to start looking at some other fuels. This one being methane or compressed natural gas became an obvious choice when you start looking at our main customers, which are dairy farms. They have a lot of waste material that produces a lot of gas. That is just going into the environment. We need a way to try and capture that gas, clean it up, and make it usable and make it a value-added product that they can then put to either the grid to heat your house for all of you, or you can run the tractor. So we're the first company that has a compressed natural gas tractor down the assembly line with diesel tractors. Comes down the same assembly line in Basildon, England, one diesel tractor, one gas tractor. We started production in the beginning of 2024, so we're very early in the stages of production of this tractor. In addition to anaerobic digesters and dairy farms, we also have landfills. So if you think of landfills, the waste as it starts to degrade produces a lot of methane. That methane can be cleaned and compressed and burned in the same tractor. So you're going to need a tractor to mow the grass, right? You look at cities, they have buses. A lot of buses run on natural gas, so they have a filling station. They also have parks and ball fields and soccer fields for the kids that all need to have their grass mowed as well. So it gives you an ability to do a complete circle from start to finish. Most of the tractor is the same components as the diesel tractor. The cab, the transmission, the axles are the same. The parts that are different are the fuel tanks. There's an example inside there of what the fuel tanks will look like. And then the engine itself has spark plugs, just like a gas engine, instead of a diesel, and it runs on the gas in the system for the natural gas part of it. I think that's about it. Unless there's any questions or anything, I guess.
Yeah, so last year, February, CNH was kind enough to host Governor Shapiro. The very first visit we did after the budget address was go down and take a look at this tractor and some other size, scale, but also all of them methane run. Why? Because in this budget, we've got an innovation fund for the first time in the state's history. $10 million we could invest in, you name it. We've seen a lot of innovation. You've got some here, but we've seen robotic milkers with food processing. It's from aquaponics to the forest products industry. So really cool stuff. We're just about, hopefully this week, being able to announce that. Mike Roth is here, who runs the innovation fund for us. But there's a theme, as I mentioned at the preview comments, the innovation that's inside agriculture. Sometimes you would look at this and not fully appreciate, like, this is different. Yeah. Right? Yes. It's really a big deal, both today, of course, but as you think about this future and what we need to do in agriculture, this type of innovation becomes a really important part of that conversation. So, questions for Sean or Corey? Comments?
Well, while you're thinking of your questions, I'll add one more in terms of innovation. If you look at on-highway cars, they're just starting to figure out self-driving cars. Well, farm tractors have been self-driving since 2001. We've been operating these machines on satellites at 1-inch accuracy, planting corn to be able to get as much corn in the field as possible without overlap and wasted fuel, wasted fertilizer, since 2001. So self-driving has been around in agriculture for a long time. We now have automatic systems that shut off the planting machine, etc. So we've been quite a ways ahead in innovation in agriculture. Most people don't notice it, but everybody needs to eat, and there's more people that have to eat now, and we have less farmland. So we got to make as much as possible in every acre.
Well, great job. Thank you for being at the PA Farm Show. It's always good to have the Forester team here. CNH are a great sort of Pennsylvania companies, but also really great group of engineers and tech teams, as I learned with the governor. But thank you. Great job.
Yep, no problem. Thanks
Mary,
for
you had a
stopping
question?
by.
Mary?
No, I'm going to talk to him.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
We're gonna file right through here.
But I'll mention our Penn State Extension booth too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's good. Well, we would not truthfully be able to do the farm show in any form without our team and partners at Penn State University and the College of Agricultural Sciences. You'll get a chance this week to hear from Dean Ott, newly appointed Dean of the College of Ag Sciences. Great vision, roots in Pennsylvania, great perspective about innovation and the role of agriculture in society, larger society. So we're looking forward to that. But a key part of what it is that we're doing is around innovation, as you've heard. So pleased to have an opportunity today just to have some insight to what Penn State is doing and what you see as that future and where you fit in this farm show. I never get the title completely right, but you'll introduce. But Dr. Roman can talk about what she's doing in research and innovation. and with Penn State. So I'll turn to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Secretary. I'm Greta Tritch-Roman. I'm Director of Research Development Initiatives for the College of Agricultural Sciences at Penn State. And what we were going to talk about today is just give you an introduction to some of the innovations that are coming out of the university. So as the land-grant institution of Pennsylvania, we take it very seriously that our responsibility is to provide and build capacity around research, extension, and education that provides all this access to innovation for the state and for our citizens of Pennsylvania. So one of the things that happened last year around this time at Farm Show 2024 was we launched a new initiative, the Technologies for Agriculture and Living Systems Initiative. And this initiative is, the premise of it is that it is deeply rooted in the understanding that agriculture is interconnected with all the living systems that sustain it. And by living systems, I mean the kinds of ecosystems like what you see behind us here in the conservation pod, clean water, ecosystem services that support pollinators and clean water and healthy soils. We can think about resilient plants and animals. We can think about thriving communities that are able to have access to health care and have access to healthy and nutritious food, as well as economic growth. So one of the things around this initiative is that our researchers and students are leveraging cutting-edge technologies to be able to address the balanced need for increased food supply with conserving our vital living systems. So that sort of integration is really integral to how we're thinking about this way we think about innovation and technology for agriculture. And we see Pennsylvania as being an excellent test bed for this kind of innovation. It's really key that we have diverse economic sectors as well as conservation and natural ecosystems, where we can think about Pennsylvania as a living laboratory for the nation, where we can test innovations, scalable innovations, affordable innovations, things that can be applied in practical ways. And so as Penn State, we see our role as being convener to be able to work with government, to be able to work with industry, to bring other academic partners into the conversation so that we can have direction on guiding what we're seeing here, the challenges in the present, as well as thinking about what the future challenges might be on the horizon. So we invite you all to come see us at the main hall in the So You Want to Be a Farmer exhibit. We'll have some of those innovations on showcase there from January 4th through January 8th. And what you'll see there is a focus on translating science into practical tools. And those practical tools are using advanced technologies like environmental sensors to be able to monitor biodiversity, to track invasive species, to use AI technologies to be able to identify diseases or to be able to identify invasives. Also, you'll find some VR technologies there where you can put on an immersive experience and engage with something like a private water well to go deep into the ground and then learn more about these complex systems from a first-hand experience. So that's one of the things that you can see us. If you come on January 8th, you can take the VR tour with the headset. You can also play around with some of our digital decision support tools like Beescape. It's a mapping tool that that gives beekeepers and land managers the ability to look at their landscapes and ensure that they have accessible landscapes for pollinators, for healthy pollinators. You can also check out the Broadband Navigator. This is a tool that municipalities are using to be able to prioritize the building of infrastructure and expand rural broadband more extensively. We also will be showcasing a few of our student innovations, some environmental conservation tools. These tools can monitor biodiversity, track invasive species, be able to track even solitary bees in their habitats. You can also check out some of the robotic innovations that our ag engineers are developing, something around frost protection systems for specialty crops. And while you're at Farm Show, we hope that you do stop by our Penn State Extension booth. That's where we're standing here in the giant expo hall. And here you can visit with master gardeners, other experts around food preservation, and we'll have another VR experience for you to be a stream doctor, where you can learn about stream health and what you can do to help protect our water quality in the state. So we hope that you come. I also have some media packets here. They're a limited number, but if you need my information, I have some business cards here also. So I hope that you can check those things out.
Dr. Roma, thank you. So if you're listening carefully, everything that she covered in the course of a few minutes is sort of tucked inside sort of our innovation grant, innovation fund, right? It's about scalability, it's about affordability, it's solving problems for Pennsylvania generally, but also for the farm community. It's finding ways to, make life better, right, for all of us. It includes sort of conservation. So very much appreciate the partnership that we have with Penn State as a department, but also just from a Pennsylvania standpoint, think about the value of our land grant university mission, where you take research and you've got education and extending that knowledge to the larger society. We're here because of what Penn State and the land grant mission have done over the last number of years. Every year that Farm Show has been in existence, Penn State in the College of Agricultural Sciences has been with us. So thank you for the partnership. Looking forward to the week as well.
This will be a fun week.
Yeah, thank you. Doug Wolfgang is our State Conservation
Good to see
Commission Executive Director. Where did Jay Howes go?
Jay, Jen Fetter.
Jen Fetter, welcome. So we mentioned the Innovation Fund, key partners again, Penn State, but also the State Conservation Commission. And our state legislature very wisely placed the Innovation Fund with the State Conservation Commission because of the intersect between innovation and conservation. And there's Jay Howes, who's joined us as well. I'll turn it over to them, just talk a little bit about the ACAP program, the leadership development program, and our training, and the work you're doing at Penn State, Jen. And then Jay, if you don't mind, just sort of an overview of what we're looking at here in the display.
Yeah, so thank you. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Farm Show. The State Conservation Commission operates under joint authorities of the State Departments of Agriculture and Environmental Protection. We strive to find that balance between farming and the environment. At that intersection are some of the biggest issues of our time. And so we've really, in recent years, made a lot of headway toward helping to fund farmers' practices, best management practices on farms. The Clean Streams Fund was awarded $154 million back in the fiscal year 22-23 budget. And from that, we were able to fund nearly 1,700 farmers across the state applied for assistance to design and install practices on their farms that improve soil health, water quality, and help make the farms more viable and productive for themselves and for future generations. So extremely important and noble work. And with that as well, in recent years, we've made a lot of headway with Chesapeake Bay cleanup goals because of that. And because of this momentum and the partnerships, the vast network of partners that we have at the local level to help carry out this work, to design and implement practices for farmers. But through that, we also developed with Jen and her team a new center at Penn State University, the Center for Ag Conservation Assistance Training, to help to build the next generation of technical assistance for the professionals who actually work with the farmers to put the practices on the ground, whether it be the engineering for those types of practices that require that level of design, or the ones that can just be done through some sort of other practice approval system. And then to really incorporate that into the curriculum at Penn State University and to help make Pennsylvania the premier place for young people who are looking for a career in conservation. So we're very excited about that. I'll turn that over to Jen here in a minute to talk about that. But yeah, welcome to the Conservation Pod. Just three things to maybe impart here. Pennsylvania is making historic investments in conservation through this Clean Streams Fund, as I mentioned. We've never made this type of dedicated state fund before. This current budget also gave us a dedicated fund of $35 million that we can expect every year hereafter, on top of the funding that we're spending right now from that initial pot of money back in 22-23. So with that, number one, those practices. Number two, we lead the nation in preserving farmland for future generations with, I believe we're up to 6,300 farms and nearly 640,000 acres. And we also have the highest number of farmers under the age of 35. So you piece these things together, the conservation, the sustainability, the long-term viability, and the young farmers who are poised to take over farms, and we're really, I think, positioning Pennsylvania well for the future. So thank you. Jen?
Great. Thank you for
having us and being here today at the Farm Show. I'll just mention the Center for Ag Conservation Assistance Training that Doug just mentioned is an amazing partnership between Penn State and the State Conservation Commission to really invest in the people that help make all those great things happen that Doug just mentioned. That practices, the conservation efforts are all so critical for Pennsylvania, for Pennsylvania's farmers, and for everybody using the natural resources here in the state, but the people themselves are the ones who make that happen. And so our center is really designed to be there for the current workforce, for ag conservation professionals, and also for the future workforce of ag conservation professionals. So whether you're already in that job or you're thinking that that's a path you'd like to follow in the future, we're really excited to have you come visit us. Join us just across the way here at the State Conservation Commission's exhibit here at the Farm Show, right next to the Penn State Extension exhibit. Perfect pairing of exhibits. It's great for me because I don't have to run back and forth too much. But when you visit, please stop by and pick up a passport to ag conservation for the Farm Show. It'll guide you to all the places that you can visit, all the partners that are here in that ag conservation space, give you some questions to ask while you're visiting, and then bring back your completed passport to pick up a prize. We'll be very excited to hear about your experiences. And one of those great partners, of course, is Jay Howe and all the things he does. So maybe you'd like to.
Yeah, so I mean, the foundation of all of this conservation work that we're doing is soil health, really. And soil is a vital living ecosystem that covers all bases when it comes to farm productivity and basic overall productivity of a farm and environmental sustainability. Jay Howe has worked with an organization called the No-Till Alliance, and they've been very successful over the years in making Pennsylvania a leader in the no-till practice, which is really beneficial for soil health. So Jay?
Well, thank you, Doug. And yeah, the display behind me demonstrates some of the things that Doug was talking about as far as the conservation practices. When you talk about healthy soil, there's 5 basic principles, but the 2 key ones you start with are having a living root in the ground all year round and having the soil covered all year round. And that's the idea of the no tillage, planting your crops without disturbing the soil. And then after your primary crop is harvested, you plant a cover crop that protects the soil over the winter or non-producing months, and also provides, when it's terminated, that's more organic matter into the soil. We also talk about keeping the soils out of the stream, and we have a stream here that's buffered on one side with a riparian buffer, the other side with a grass buffer, both effective in keeping runoff, soils and whatever out of our streams, which of course is important to overall water quality. And down in this corner, many of you may have other years seen, we have a rainfall simulator, which demonstrates the benefits of, well, it's 5 different soil profiles, but soils have been managed differently, and we make it rain and we watch what runs off, which you don't want, versus what gets infiltrated. If you show groundwater recharge, which you do want, and it's really clear that how the soils are managed, particularly with cover crop and no-till, makes a big difference on what kind of infiltration and obviously a lack of runoff at the same time. The other new element that I just call your attention to are 5-foot tall root tubes with cover crops planted in the top, and you can see through the clear plastic tubes the root development and why the roots are so important. You know, there's kind of a catchphrase, it all starts with the roots. Well, some people say it all starts with the soil, but healthy soil has to have the roots, so it's a relationship between them. So take a minute to look at that too if you have a chance.
A lot to see. Just to say thank you to Jay and Jen and Doug. Over this sort of media tour, you've had a chance to sort of see a lot of different pieces of Farm Show, but also all having a connective tissue around how we power and agriculture powers Pennsylvania, right? We see it in the horses, we see it in equipment, it's the research that we're doing, it's the landscape components, it's livestock, but always includes a person, right? It's about people. So you get a chance to see that this week as we celebrate how agriculture is powering Pennsylvania. One more stop important to how we power, it's about food, right? So let's go to the food court and have a sampling of Pennsylvania's food court this year. Thank you.
much better. However,
Again, I'm Sharon. I met you a little bit earlier today. Now, probably your favorite part of the day. Oh, give me a microphone. I'm not loud enough. Over here. Okay. All right. How about that? Can you hear me now? All right. So again, good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us on the tour today. We hope that you learned something. We hope that you have a really good takeaway and you're going to go home and educate someone in your family or a friend about agriculture. So our last stop of the day is the very famous Pennsylvania Farm Show Food Court. Mentioned earlier today, we do have a few new items this year. We do have the new mint milkshake from the Dairy Mints, which we're really excited about. We do have the loaded French fry and potato cakes from the potato growers. We also have the stuffed baby portobello mushrooms stuffed with cheddar cheese and bacon from the Pennsylvania mushroom growers, one of our #1 agriculture industries in the state. 60% of all mushrooms in the country are grown here in Pennsylvania, and hand-picked, which I didn't know, just learned that this year. So we have maple, which is always a great partner. We have apple. We have the Pennsylvania Vegetable Growers, Pennsylvania Livestock Association. I already mentioned dairy, Peneg with their pork. And behind me, actually, the Pennsylvania Beekeepers. So with their great sweet treats of ice cream and waffles. So just really thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoy a lot of the sampling. I'm going to turn it over to the Secretary for some final words. And just, again, thanks for being here. We hope to see you here throughout the entire week.
Sharon, thank you. Just how many folks like to eat? Yeah, it's a good reminder. We step into this food court, and this is special, right? It's a great part of our farm show. We celebrate it. We love it. But this happens every single day across the state of Pennsylvania, right? And we are proud of feeding 13 million people every single day. That happens because you've got these farmers and these folks who are in the fields, or in the barns, they're in the research lab, whatever, right? But this is all part of what we celebrate and what powers Pennsylvania is our food and food systems. So enjoy the farm show, enjoy the food court. Are we going to talk about each one?
I don't think so. I think
No?
we're just going to let them talk to the
Okay, so
individual
enjoy.
vendors
You've got
themselves.
access to the vendors, and folks are with us every single day. But thank you for being here today, and we'll see you all week as we celebrate the 109th Pennsylvania Farm Show and how we are powering Pennsylvania. Thank you very much.
Don't forget to try the Brussels sprouts.